By the end of this video, you're gonna know a simple way to optimize your computer, printer, and paper settings to achieve accurate colors for stunning fine art prints. Now, what I've found is this can be a very complex and sometimes just overcomplicated topic. And if you're just looking to make a great looking print from your inkjet printer that looks like what's on your screen, then this video is for you, because I'm gonna show you just an easy, straightforward approach. So let's just jump in. I'm gonna be printing out of Lightroom on my Mac to an Epson SureColor P600, and most, if not all, printers are gonna behave generally nearly identically, especially if you're using the proper paper profiles. So let's get started. First, I just really want to cover having a basic understanding of what is actually going on here. We are sending color information from our computer that is projecting an image on the screen, so using projected light, to our printer, which is printing that information out to view it in reflected light. Now, the key to all of this is to get accurate colors from start to finish. We do this by calibrating our monitor for accurate colors and then having a paper and printer profile that decodes this information to send it to the printer, which in turn produces accurate colors in the final print. Therefore, we need to start with accurate color information. To do this, we use a monitor calibration tool. Now, you can get these for a few $100s all the way up to thousands of dollars. But I would say if you're just starting out, I would try to get something like the Calibrite Display Pro, as this will work perfectly and it's really a great investment for any photographer. Now, using these display calibration tools are pretty straightforward. You hang the sensor on the screen and basically run through the steps in the software, and it projects colors and light levels to set the color accuracy for your screen. Now, once that is done, just save the profile and your monitor is now calibrated. Over time, it will need to be recalibrated as the colors will shift, so you want to make sure you do this every month or so just to make sure things are consistent. Next, you're gonna need to choose a paper you want to print on. For the print that I'm making here, I am using Moab Entrada Natural Rag. This is my favorite paper to date for inkjet printing. It has a nice heavy weight and feel to it, and it doesn't have any optical brighteners in it. These can fade over time. To me, archival quality is very important, so this is something I often look for in a paper. You also want to make sure the paper you choose has an ICC profile that you can download from the company's website. All the really good papers will have this already made for you and your specific printer. This profile is what actually decodes that information and translates the color data and tells the printer how to accurately print those colors. So after you've downloaded the profile, what you need to do is install it so you can assign it to the print job when printing. And by installing, I mean basically putting it in a color profile folder so it can be selected. Now, on a Mac, you're just gonna take the profile ending in .icc from your downloads or wherever you saved it and either drag it or copy and paste it into your profiles folder. This can be found by opening a Finder window, clicking on Macintosh HD or whatever your main hard drive is named, going to the library folder, color sync folder, and then dropping it in the profiles folder. Now, on a PC, you take the profile file ending in ICC from your downloads or wherever you saved it, and you simply right-click on the profile and select Install Profile from that menu. Now, once this profile is installed, you can access it in your print settings and Lightroom's soft proofing feature. Now, before we jump in and actually make this beautiful print, I need you to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss future printing videos. Okay, now in Lightroom, it's time to actually prepare our image. Once you have the image looking how you want it, developed and edited, in the Develop tab, we're gonna use the soft proofing feature in the Develop tab. To do this, there's a little checkbox in the lower left of the toolbar. You're gonna click that, and then in the upper right, there is a soft proofing tab. Select the profile that was installed for the paper you will be printing on. When you click the paper and ink checkbox, Lightroom's gonna emulate the contrast and the color and make it look more like your final print will look. Now you'll notice you might lose a little contrast there, and this is where what you can do is make any adjustments needed to get the image back to where you actually want it. And as soon as you make an adjustment, it's gonna ask you if you want to make a soft proofing virtual copy. I recommend doing this so you can leave the original unaltered and try and match the soft proofing version back to the original with a few slight tweaks or whatever you need to do, thus making your print match your original vision for the image more accurate. Once you have the proof looking exactly how you want it, you're gonna go over to the print module. Go into the page setup to select the size you want to print at. Then go into the printer settings button on the lower left. This is where you're gonna select the printer driver for the printer you're using. Once the driver is selected, find the printer settings area in the box that opens. This is where you can set the type of black ink. In this case, I'm using the matte black. The quality, in this case, I have it set to Super Photo. And make sure the printer driver color management is set to off. You want Lightroom and the ICC profile to handle all of this. Once that's set, just click Save. Next, adjust the margins and the cell size if you do want borders. Now, if you've never printed out of Lightroom, before you actually get down to the print section at the bottom, there's quite a few different options and layout features. So I would just go through and kind of play with that and see what everything does. For the most part, I just use the layout and the margins and cell size. Once you have a feel for all this and have a layout and setup that you like, I would recommend making a preset for it by clicking on the plus sign over on the left next to the template browser and saving it in the user presets. Okay, now we're just about ready to print, so it's time to put the paper in your printer. Then head down to the print job tab on the lower right. For print resolution, I typically use 360, which is Epson's native resolution. Canon has a native resolution of 300, and either is gonna work just fine. I set print sharpening to standard and media type to matte for this paper. And I always check the 16-bit box, as I figure the more color information and data I can send to the printer, the better off I am. Now this is the part where the ICC profiles come into play again. Under the profile, select the paper profile for the paper and printer you are using. This is that profile, that ICC profile we downloaded from the paper's website. Now, I usually leave the intent on perceptual, though you can try the relative and make some comparison prints for yourself and see if one does better for you. The little section below that is print adjustments. So after you've printed, you could dial in some compensation here if you wanted, though I would recommend recalibrating your screen and getting that more dialed in before really relying on this feature. Now, I usually hit the printer button just to double check that the settings in the print settings tab in the driver are all correct, that it says matte paper, super photo. I usually have the high speed turned off just to make sure before I hit print. And that's it. If you follow these simple steps, you will make a print that is accurate, beautiful, and most importantly, it represents your vision for your photo, the one that you made on the screen. So please let me know in the comments how your prints turn out if you do follow these steps that I laid out. So this image is actually a proof for me that I'm going to be scaling up to 13 by 19. My plan right now is then to dapple the edges and frame it, I think float frame and matte. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's for my studio. And that's one of the things that I really love about this inkjet printing in general and this type of paper. There's just so many really cool ways you can frame and make really beautiful pieces of art with them. So if you're interested in how to do that and actually frame your images, you're gonna wanna check out this video right here.